Hey everyone, Cell here, back with something a little different this time. I feel like I say that a lot, but it's very true this time as this is not Path of Exile. I saw the developer of the game link this game on Reddit earlier, the Path of Exile subreddit. It was a thread about what games are you playing, and they said they've been developing this uh, between leagues, and it's a PoE inspired survivor like game, kind of a genre mashup. And this is right up my alley because I'm actually in the early stages of working on a project like this myself. So, had to check it out. I looked at their link. It is $1 on Steam. I thought for $1, there's no way I can avoid checking this out. And after playing it for about an hour now, I would recommend it for that price point, definitely. If you're looking for something to kill time with until the league starts, we've got another week and a couple days here. So I think it's pretty fun. Uh, Gameplay, pretty basic, survivor like. It is in early access. Looks like it went into early access about a year ago and had a pretty major update to things. So I'm going to just jump in here. This is the world map and go into a zone. I will say, as I go through here, again, everything survivor like happening kind of automatically here. You mostly walk around. There is a dodge with shift. I don't really use it much because it just, I'll dash here. It's like a little blip. I feel like that could use some improvement there. And a couple other things as well, but again, early access. Solo developer. Um, these types of things happen, and it seems like they're open to some feedback at this time. So I may write up a couple things, not like major criticisms, but because I don't really have any, but a few things that I think would make the game feel nicer. Won't get into those now, of course. I need to have time to formulate my thought before I just start spewing them out. But for the most part, yeah, gameplay is pretty basic here. If you're familiar with the Survivors like genre, Vampire Survivors, the recent Death Must Die that Ziggity covered, I played a bit of that as well. And part of what I thought my issue with those games was that it was too samey. And yet I play Path of Exile, which is pretty samey, and I love the crap out of it. This game is pretty samey. I'm enjoying this a lot so far. I think it's just too long uh, in each session. Like 20 minutes for Death Must Die is pretty long, in my opinion. You kind of get into a certain groove, and then there's a bit of dead time between the exciting parts. And this game introduces a different exciting part, for me at least. I just got a unique item. Ooh. Based on bombs. That's pretty interesting. Head back to the portal here. Generally, at least in the areas I've done so far, you either have to kill 250 enemies or fight a boss. And it takes a couple minutes. And right now, again, very early access, kind of proof of concept feeling. Um, you probably would agree that it could use some polish, but again, that's how these things go. And for $1, I have no complaints about the current state of the game. There are a lot of skills in the game that you could use. And the way this works is you have primary skill with damage effectiveness 150%, secondary at 100%, and then you have some utility skills. So sometimes the damage effectiveness just doesn't matter. You have auras here. My rush aura is not dealing damage, it's just giving me speed. So I don't care if that has 50% effectiveness. Primary and secondary skills. You do, of course, static charges. This is analogous to Spark and Path of Exile. Then I have Chain Lightning, which is equivalent to Arc. There is a skill called Arc, and it's kind of confusing because what it does is it's an area of effect skill when things are inside of it. it will call down a lightning strike, kind of like Herald of Thunder. So to call that skill arc feels a bit weird to me. There's nothing like arcing, you know? Chain Lightning, pretty typical name for that type of skill, though. Oh, crap. I did not mean to do that, but I guess I can go through here and go over some of these supports as well. Again, analogous to support gems in Path of Exile. They do various things here. I actually don't remember which ones I had. I think I charged. I definitely had focus, and I think I had a... Wait a minute. I didn't realize that was a thing. I definitely want that. Ricocheting shots for extra chains. And more cast speed is what I had for sure. I just got another level breakpoint in that zone, level 30, so I had a new requirement for new supports and stuff, so that's nice. There's a gene system. This is the equipment of the game. Tons of mods here. Again, very PoE-like. Some of them can have similar mods, some of them have different things. There's actually an encyclopedia help guide here that lists all of the mods for the various genes you can equip in those slots, along with the weightings, the level requirements, etc. Basically, PoEDB inside the game. And you can equip a certain number of each type of gene. I actually crafted these 2 genes myself. They're pretty solid, bunch of damage, some resistances. Just to try out the system, we are pretty low level here, so I don't feel like it's made a major impact. And then you can go up to genes and gene modding to do exactly that. Can go over a little bit here. Maybe try to find a higher level one. Sure. So we can completely re-roll the mods of Scramble here with this blue resource that you may have seen me pick up some of in the level there. And sure, if we want like hit damage, or even this a decent amount of added toxic damage, we can just lock both of those. And that's equivalent to fracturing them in Path of Exile. And then you can reroll more. It seems to me like you can't end up with only locked mods, so I'll reroll a few more times here, and we can see that I'm never going below a certain number of mods. So I don't know exactly how that works. May end up changing. The game does feel like it's on the easier side, which I could see being adjusted a little bit, and maybe it gets harder as you go on, kind of like PoE. There's kind of a curve that bottoms out a little before things get more difficult again. But I think it could be a little bit more difficult. The first boss, I actually kind of just stood there. Let's see if I can see this in my equipment. I have 25 life regeneration, which is like 5%. And I was able to stand there and tank the boss and go completely AFK. However, maybe you're looking for something on the lighter side, in which case this game is great for that right now. And the thing I like with PoE and other games, I'm a sucker for skill trees. So this game has a skill tree. And my whole premise behind the project I started that I mentioned earlier is, Survivor-like with ARPG type progression. And that is exactly what this game goes for. So I'm a huge fan. There's various things here. There's the minor nodes. There's equivalent to keystones and notable passives like in PoE. So for example, let's see some interesting ones. A lot of stuff like when you get hit, 25 movement speed when you get hit, brick, take less damage from hits. Some of them are pretty basic right now. I'm sure these will evolve over time as every game does. There's a charge system, there are curses for support skills, things of that nature. So if you're looking for something on the lighter side, but with a bit more depth, it hits the mark, I feel like, of being between a typical Survivor genre game and an ARPG. It's got the crafting elements, it's got equipment, it's got the passive tree, it's got a pretty diverse set of abilities here. I don't even know if I counted these. There's like 20-ish active abilities. So some decent stuff to experiment around with if you're going with 2 skills per. There's also some like conversion-based stuff here. Yeah, physical damage converted to lightning. I haven't looked at all the mods in the menus or anything. I'm kind of just discovering that organically. And as we just saw, I had a unique gene come up of Tinker's Toy. Cannot use non-bomb damaging skills, bomb skills, fire double bombs. That seems very interesting and like something I might want to mess around with. So, a couple of things like that as well. Anyways, this video went on quite a bit longer than I expected. But I can rant for hours about pretty much anything, let alone 10 minutes here. So, give it a shot if you got $1 to spare. Support an indie dev that has ties to the PoE community, and maybe kill some time before the league start. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.